Alright, so the most notable thing about this particular workout is that I actually put a lot of emphasis on wrist position. It's actually it's kind of a big deal. If you don't have your wrists in the right position, you don't have the proper grip. I actually reread starting strength on the grip section on overhead press. And I'll reread that section and kind of go over in a different video. But basically, you need to have the bar sitting on your forearms or your wrist, not on your forearms, but in direct line with your wrist. I'm sure some of you may already know this, and it's pretty simple. But this is one little factor in my training that has been very inconsistent. My grip position and wrist position, and because of this, I've been hitting a sticking point. So really, the reality is a lot of the reason why I haven't been doing so well on my bench press, or why I've been getting stuck, is a technique flaw. So I think there's also understanding that you got understanding your technique issues and then knowing how to work on them, because technique is really how you really get good at this. It's really refining and defining your technique. So this bench session is coming off of a deload, and because of that I decided to go a little bit heavy and decrease my volume and sort of test my strength a little bit. I wanted to work up to a heavy double, and I really felt like I had 300 in me for a double. That was the goal, to do 300 pounds for a pause double, but I wasn't able to do it. I actually ended up doing 300 pounds for 3 sets of 1, which I'm actually quite happy about. One of the other things too that I learned in my workout was that I was able to really focus on actually have the strength now, which is kind of cool. I'm actually a lot stronger than I was 3 weeks prior, and that's kind of cool because I know that I could not confidently press 300 pounds, and because I was able to get 3 singles with 300 pounds, I feel pretty confident about it. I am starting to notice that I'm having some this kind of a, what you would say, like a panic mode button, when you're benching and you're benching by yourself, and you don't have a spotter. Sure, there might be racks or whatever, and it's just not the same when you don't have a spotter. So it's just like when this happens, it's kind of like pausing at your chest with a really with a near max weight. You don't feel exactly in a really good position to feel good about yourself or feel yourself in a safe position. So you have all these kind of like panic mode buttons that kind of go in your head, like, oh shit, when shit hits the fan, you don't want shit to hit the fan. And I think this is the reason why when sometimes I train people and I'm telling them to bench to their chest and they end up not benching to their chest, they inconsistently like either get close to their chest, or they maybe go parallel, they go 90 degrees at the elbow, or sometimes they do touch their chest, sometimes they bounce it. Just so much inconsistencies. And this is with someone who's not a powerlifter, someone who's just training to build strength and just kind of get, look better naked and get fit. For me, obviously, is in the powerlifting, and kind of, I wonder if you ever suffer from this, or if you ever have that kind of oh shit moment. You're like, God, man, you set out to focus on pausing, right? And it's so funny. It's like when you are benching by yourself, or you're just working out for that matter, time slows down when you are doing repetitions. It's like you've entered the matrix, when you're lifting weights and you're either doing pause squats or pause bench or just heavy deadlifts for sets of 5. Because you see someone do a set of 5, or even you do like a heavy set of 5 and you're doing it, it feels like forever sometimes, especially if it's a very challenging weight or maybe an exercise you hate or you're not very good at. But then you watch it on video, you're like, that didn't even look that hard. It's sort of kind of funny. It's like when you work out, time slows down. And it's sort of interesting because it's almost like when you're lifting weights and you're pushing yourself, especially to very high levels, and maybe not high levels, but just high levels for you. It's almost like everything changes. It really does. It's almost like I've heard this before in a book, in that book Art of Learning. He talked about how when he broke his arm, he felt like he can see his opponent move in slow motion. He was doing a Tai Chi tournament, and it was kind of interesting because you think about this for a second. It's like time slows down when you're weightlifting, and I don't know. Anyways, just want to hear your thoughts. That oh shit moment, or maybe that feeling of time slowing down when you lift. And why do I mention this point about time slowing down when you lift? I mean it because when you do a pause bench press, you're supposed to pause at your chest, right? So in my case, I guess I start the count before it touches my chest, so I feel like I pause. But then I'm watching the video, I'm like, I'm hardly pausing. I'm not even pausing. It looks like I'm doing a touch and go. I am pausing probably for like 1/10 of a second. Anyways, if you're watching this far, thanks for watching. I appreciate your viewership, and click like if you haven't already. I'd like to hear your comments. Anyways, I'll see you guys on the next video.